Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 13th of June. It is 11 a.m. Central European Time, 10 o'clock in the UK. We are back with another show. Remember, we stream every day at 11 o'clock, Monday to Saturday. We may have a special TA show this afternoon, maybe 5 or 6 p.m., depending on what the Oracle wants to do. We're going to have a look at what happened after the FOMC, both on this show, and Brogan's look at the charts this afternoon. He's going to go and have a look at where we are going to go. So before I begin, a few shout outs to those of you in chat. Only You, Bullish Bull, Hidden Agendas, Mags is in chat, Velvet Rope is here. Good morning to you all. And a special good morning to Kishan. I don't know if he's watching, but Kishan's mother has been in hospital for the last week. So I'm sure you will all join me in hoping that she has a speedy recovery and she gets better and she gets out soon. So Kishan, our thoughts and prayers are with you this morning. Now, what are we going to go through today? Well, of course, we're going to go through Bitcoin and the FOMC meeting. It's the most important FOMC meeting until the next one. We're going to go through that. We're going to have a look at Whale Spreeth, which is the headline of the day, really. The whales have gone off buying ETH by the bucket load. We're going to have a look at that. Gas station. What could that be? That's about Solana. We're going to talk about Solana and being able to offer transactions without gas fees. We're going to look at Aegon. And again, a play on words, go again. We're going to have a look at Egan. Egan's just bought somebody. We're going to go and have a look at that. We're going to look at the fine imposed on Luna, $4.5 billion. Daddy Tate, again, I am going to absolutely tear into this one because I am not a fan of this. And then, of course, final thoughts at the end. Daniel, good morning to you. I hope you are well, and I hope you are all ready, because the headline of the show is Pack Your Bags. That does not mean we are going to the moon today. As I alluded to yesterday, each one of these FOMC meetings is going to lay the foundation for the next leg up. We've had falling CPI. We have got Chairman Powell being as hawkish as he possibly can. But the one thing that Chairman Powell cannot control is the American government. We've already seen Warren telling him that he has to drop interest rates. Do not be surprised if he bows to political pressure within the next 2 months. But we're going to have a look at that anyway. Bottom left-hand corner, just under 138,000 followers. So please smash the like button and smash the follow button, especially if you are new here. Let us know that you care. Right then, let's begin. We're going to go through the markets first before we do the X-Files. Bitcoin is coming in a little bit higher than it was yesterday. We had all kinds of excitement yesterday. We have got the Bitcoin chart to look at. 67,560, ETH again, 3,500, hasn't really moved an awful lot. BNB is looking like it's tired and it wants to rest. I don't know whether it's going to hold $600, but we'll go and maybe have a look at that later on. Solana seems to be struggling. I'm not going to be honest, it seems to be struggling. Maybe it's a good time to pick up more Solana. We will have a look. Markets then, volume is up. Not greatly. Market cap, again, hasn't changed. Neither has Bitcoin dominance. ETH dominance coming in 71%. Hasn't changed in a very long time. So the markets did have a reaction in two possible ways, which we're going to go through. One was the positive news about the CPI and the rate remaining unchanged. That was the positive news. The negative news was, of course, Chairman Powell came out and was a party pooper, was as bearish as he could possibly be on the economy, and said, we know people are in pain, but we have to keep following this through. I don't know whether he's going to be able to hold on to that promise or whether he will have to cut soon. So then, Live Pair is up 15%. Notcoin, which I am not a fan of, is up. Injective is looking good at $30. Stacks, again, not bad, $2.30. Toncoin, I'm not a fan. I think it's flattering to deceive. It shouldn't be a top 10 coin, in my humble opinion. Casper is up. Ondo is up just a touch at $1.30. Losers then. Brett, what did I say? What did I say on yesterday's show? We went through Brett yesterday. Good morning, Chris. And what did I say to you? Don't buy the top. Don't believe these articles that are telling you that these coins are just going to keep ripping up to the upside. They don't. They retrace. Down 10% since we had that conversation. I think it was nearly 16.5 cents yesterday. It's down to 15 cents today. Don't believe what you read. People go, oh, that's the top gainer. I'd quite happily sit here and go out and tell you to buy LivePay, go and buy Notcoin, go and buy Injective, go and buy Stacks. And some of you guys might make money off that. I'm not here to do that. Don't listen to what people tell you about these coins that are pumping because they retrace. If you like Brett, wait for it to finish retracing and then buy it. Don't buy the top. It's like going in to a department store on December the 23rd to buy something that you're going to wear in February, and you're buying it at the most expensive time of the year. Wait until the January sales. Wait until January the 4th or the 5th and go and buy it then. That's what you need to do. Good morning, Drop Dad. Welcome back. Floki is down. Bonk is down. A little bit of a retracement on some of the meme coins. Not really a lot to be concerned about in the markets today. Now, pack your bags. This is important, okay? This is the serious breaking news part of the show, okay? I'm being deadly serious now. Let me bring this up and let me explain. It always gives me a pregnant pause for the first time I log into X in a day. Okay, now, this is you guys, okay? Every one of you out of there is a chimp, and you are trying to carry all of your favorite coins, and you're just carrying them randomly in your arms, on your feet, in your... You're walking out, you've got Ondo under one arm, you've got ETH on your shoulder, you've got Bitcoin in your backpack, you've got meme coins hanging from your belt, you've got RWA coins stuck inside your socks. Pack your bags. What do you do when you pack your bags? You organize yourself, you get prepared. Go through your portfolio. Have you got enough AI tokens? Do you have enough RWA tokens? What about DeepIn? Have you got 3 or 4 different meme coins? Look at your bags and decide if what you've got is ready for the bull run. Now, the bull run, remember that my top end is November, but maybe we start to look towards September, October to decide what the strategy is going to be to get out. Now, it's all well and good me saying September, October or November, but if you haven't packed your bags properly and you're walking around like this chimp carrying all these oranges left, right and centre, and I say to you, right, time to get out of your RWA tokens, and you don't know where they are because you don't know whether they're in your rucksack, your suitcase, your fanny pack or whatever they call it in America, pack your bags properly, get a spreadsheet, organise your coins that you hold, break them into categories, break them into oracles, layer 1s, layer 2s, game tokens, meme coins. Have a nice breakdown and see if you're light in a different area, okay? So, much as you might like oranges, and much as you'd like to be a man that carries all the bags of shopping into the house in one go, make sure you're organised. I can tell you to pack your bags. If you don't organise those bags, you're just going to be carrying those oranges like that monkey. So that is the opening of the show. It only gets better from here. It only gets better from here. Now, this is, again, bullish news for Bitcoin. Saudi Arabia signed a deal many years ago, 50 years ago, to only trade in dollars when they are buying and selling oil. That expired. Good morning, Tariq. I hope you caught the chimpanzee. That has expired, and they will no longer be using US dollars only. They will be looking at China, Europe, Japan, whatever it might be, other currencies, probably crypto along the way. So this is bullish news for us. Why? Because a weak dollar is good for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, remember what we want. We want Bitcoin to get to a position where everybody recognizes it as a store of value, not just a few people. Study by Marathon shows Bitcoin mining with landfill methane is economically viable and environmentally beneficial. Bitcoin mining is a win for the planet and profit. You will not hear that many places. There are not many things that are good for the economy and good for Bitcoin. And there is a thing called flaring, which goes on in oil fields around the world, and it's where they burn off the excess gas. What they have discovered is they can burn that off through a kind of turbine, which then generates electricity, which then powers the Bitcoin miners. It's actually more beneficial than what they're currently doing now. So lots of things. And who started all this? Let's not forget, Elon Musk was the one that said Bitcoin needs to become more environmentally friendly. It has done. The drive of greed is what is going to be the most beneficial way to conserve the planet's resources. And greed and profit is what will drive that. Now, if we can tell people that methane can be burned from landfills and turned into Bitcoin, that will then benefit the planet, because people will want that profit from that methane. So it's all good. Now then, sentiment. Again, I don't know why they've highlighted this, but I'm going to pass on the news. AI projects this weekend and early part of next week. There's been another gradual rise in social volume towards synth AI and regulation for projects like FET, Ocean Ajax, and Tau. These spikes in crowd interest are often followed by rises in price. We looked at FET. It was at 160. I think it's had a small recovery since then. 160 is a great price. If we're talking about a $5 ASI token and FET is going to be swapped 1-for-1 with ASI, you do the math. You do the math. Now, I don't think it'll go to $5 today or tomorrow. I think it will hit $2, $3, maybe have a hang around, and then maybe by the end of the year, maybe by the end of the summer, maybe we'll look at $5 depending on what Bitcoin is doing. But AI tokens, we try to talk about them as much as we can, but they are one of the segments of crypto which could break away. Remember, I think I said in one of our chats yesterday on one of our streams, at some point crypto is going to fragment, and it will fragment into pieces that don't rely on the 4-year cycle, and it's going to happen. AI coins, real world asset projects, they will stop being aligned with the price of Bitcoin at some point in the near future when they've reached maturity. And it will fragment, and we will have AI, and we will talk about AI. We won't talk about crypto and Bitcoin. We will talk about real world assets like Ondo and maybe Mantra. We won't talk about Bitcoin. It will fragment, and it will fragment sooner than people think. And maybe this is the last great bull run. This could be the last time we see what we are seeing now. And we will know that in the bear market after 2025. So 2026, what will happen? Let's say that Ondo and real world asset tokens don't decline because they're going through expansion and they're connected to real world assets. Why would the price of Ondo drop because we're going through a bear market in crypto when Ondo is based on the revenue derived from real world assets? The same with AI. If ASI token strikes a deal with multiple tech firms and that derives its revenue from real world sources, why would it decline based on the price of Bitcoin? So we could very well be seeing the fragmentation in 2026, and that is only a year and a half away. It could be as soon as 2026. It may be 2030. I don't know. I'm just saying at some point we will fragment. I think the flippening is never going to happen that we talk about, where Ethereum flips the price of Bitcoin. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think if you look at the chart, Bitcoin is going to become the challenger to gold. At that point, how on earth can Ethereum challenge Bitcoin? It can't, in my opinion. Now, a daily reminder to keep your eye on these social coins, especially the political ones. Keep an eye on them. MAGA especially. There are a few different versions of MAGA. There is MAGA on Sol, then there is MAGA on ETH. You have Trump tokens, you have all sorts. Keep an eye on the Sol and the Ethereum one, because over the course, in my opinion, over the course of the next, where are we? July, August, September, October. Over the course of the next 4 months, expect to see those coins reflect the hype around the elections. So make sure, if you do want to get yourself some meme coins, go and check it out. And that's not sponsored. That's just blatantly obvious what's going to happen. Finally then, looks like the Fed has reconsidered the number of rate cuts this year. It was supposed to be 3, and now they believe it to be 1. I will stick by what I said yesterday, and I think it will be 2. I never thought they were going to cut the rates yesterday, but I didn't think they were going to put them up either. So I think we're going to look at 2. I think potentially July, potentially September, October. And the reason is, I think that the political pressure on Powell from the government will be too great for him to resist, and it will come to friction, and he will have to give in, and there will be 2 rate cuts. It's an election year. Biden cannot keep telling people that the economy is doing so well with interest rates so high. So bringing the interest rates down by 0.5% over 2 cuts, I think will help him in his campaign. Now, moving on, that was a nice segue. If they cut rates, it should be a positive repercussion on crypto. Yes, only you. When interest rates go up, risk on assets become undesirable. So tech stocks and crypto and anything like that becomes risk off. People don't want to go near it. And they look at more safe haven stocks and gold as well, and silver. When interest rates come down, it's called risk on markets. And anything that is slightly more volatile than traditional stocks becomes desirable. And that would be tech stocks and crypto. So even the hint of a rate cut by Chairman Powell is going to put us back over $70,000. And when the more hawkish he sounds, the more dovish he actually is. It's, again, I compare it to your birthday. You want a BMX for your birthday, and you keep saying to your mum and dad, I want a BMX for my birthday. And the closer it gets to your birthday, the more they say, no, it's not going to happen. Absolutely not. You're not getting one. And then, you know, the week before, you've not been good, so you're not going to get a BMX. And then what happens on your birthday? You sit there, there's your BMX, okay? Good morning, Fran. So the closer it gets to the cut, the more hawkish he will be. And had he thrown in the towel yesterday and said, you know what, the economy's on track, we're going to be cutting rates this year, then yes, the markets would have ripped. But he is playing his cards close to his chest, and he's not going to allow people to front run his rate cuts. So the Bitcoin price prediction as US core inflation rate is announced, bullish or bearish? Well, the rate, or the announcement, was very bearish. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Fran. I'll tell you at the end of the show. I did look, and there was nothing wrong. Only 2 videos out of 800. This is where it gets serious, and I change position. So CPI, so that the core inflation rate was announced, interest rates were held, CPI month on month was 0, and that is good. The CPI is 3.3%. That is also very good for the economy. Now, Vivek, not too sure we're going to go to $100,000 based on that news. He showed the pump, but what he hasn't showed is the correction back to the downside, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. These inflation figures are critical as they influence the Fed decisions. Lower than expected inflation could lead to more dovish stance for the Fed, potentially weakening the dollar. There we go. A weaker dollar boosts the Bitcoin price, making it more attractive to investors seeking an alternative store of value. Higher inflation readings could prompt the Fed to maintain. Well, we're not going to see that. We've come out of the end. We're at 5.5%. I would hope by the end of the year that we are somewhere near 5. I don't think we're going to be any less than that. So the price prediction, what is it saying? Well, again, 69.5 is where we reached. I don't know if we got anywhere near 70. But again, the price prediction of 70,000 is based on a combination of things, not just the CPI. So we did crack to the downside. It was a to be expected and slightly bullish set of announcements and figures. So it was a bit better than neutral in my eyes. Let me just keep an eye on here. So this is the Bitcoin chart. Let me just wait for it to load and we will show you where we are. And that is exactly where we were yesterday. And we had some, these lines, as I've said to you on numerous occasions, these lines don't change from one stream to the next. And if you look at this range that we're in, we're still in it. Now let's go to the 4 hour so we can show you exactly what happened. So this green candle here was based on the CPI data. This red candle here was based on Chairman Powell coming into the party, turning the music off, turning the lights off, starting to clean away the vol au vents and the sandwiches and telling everybody to go home. That's what we saw. And what happened after that is we came straight back down to sit on top of this 67,000 line. So as you were really, we're at pretty much the same price we were yesterday. I think yesterday we were at 67,350, haven't really moved. And that's all because Chairman Powell doesn't like parties, he doesn't like loud music, except if it's his party. And his party will be coming sooner rather than later because he's going to start to announce rate cuts, I think in July. And then we are really off to the races. So he's trying to keep a lid on things. What do I think we need to do now? Well, first of all, I think we need to keep above this level here, which is 66. If we get a wick down, we need to stay above 66. If we don't, then I think we could come all the way down to 62. I don't see it, really. Based on that news, I don't see it. I think it's as you were. Again, I don't see anything in the markets to break us too high above 70 at the minute. We need to look for a catalyst. What is the catalyst going to be? Could it be Ethereum? Remember, nearly 2 weeks ago, they filed their submissions. We are in the middle of June. I'm expecting a 4th of July go live for ETH, as are many people now. We don't have long to go. It is the 13th. We've got 17 plus 4. We've got 3 weeks today. I think it will go live. I don't think if it's not announced this week that will happen, and it will be delayed even further. But let's see where we go. If Ethereum ETFs are announced, that would be the catalyst for me to put us back above 70,000. And again, it's not so bad. We're not really down. We're back where we were yesterday. It's fairly neutral to bullish, I would say. I'm certainly not calling for $100,000, put it that way, but I'm also not calling for $57,000 either. I think the news was as expected. And the problem is, lots of people predict the extremes, 57,000 at one end, 80,000 at another end. Now, we will get those wicks at some point, and they will be justified or claim that they are justified. We are going to break $80,000, and we could retrace to $57,000, but not based on the news we've just had. It has to be more significant. Now, this is the whales going on their buying spree. How did they miss that headline? How did they not tag a TH onto the end of spree? I don't know what these people are paid for. I don't know why they're paid so much. They need to go back to school. Whales go on a buying spree, snapping up $840 million in ETH. Why would they do that? Why are they buying ETH? Think it through. Of course, we all know why they're buying ETH, because we know there's going to be the ETF approved anytime soon. They bought 240,000 ETH during the price drop, spending $840 million in the process. Ethereum-based apps make revenues similar to public companies. I don't know why he's put that in there. Ethereum's price is steady at around 3,650, with crucial support at 3,450. How old is this article? Aren't we at 3,500 now? 14 hours ago. Yeah, okay. It's fairly old. So large investors known as whales recently purchased this amount. We know it's a good price for them to get in at, to be perfectly honest. If we're talking about a $5,000 or $6,000 ETH and you're buying at that volume, then you are going to be making some serious money. So CryptoScient noted that Ethereum is currently consolidating around 3650. A drop to 3200 may occur. Also, we're not going to break 3700 anytime soon, in my opinion. So, all good for ETH. And again, do as they do, not as they say, or not as you don't hear about. They are buying in preparation for the ETF application being approved. They're buying in anticipation of it going live and a move to the upside. Remember what we saw with Bitcoin when the ETF was approved. It did move considerably to the upside. I think ETH will do the same. So let me adjust this microphone. And again, it talks about dipping towards 3,500 to 3,450. Again, we are at that range right now. So what does this mean for Ethereum? Well, if you hold Ethereum, great. If you are wanting to get into Ethereum, this is not a bad price to get into Ethereum at. Remember, you're not going to be making 10x's on Ethereum or Bitcoin in the near future. So if you're here chasing these massive wicks or a massive pump, it's not going to happen. If you're happy with a 30% return on ETH in the next couple of months, then ETH is certainly for you, because it will happen. But take a leaf out of Michel van der Pot's book. He has been buying layer 2s on Ethereum because he expects them to outperform Ethereum over the course of the ETF go live. So he's been buying Optimism, he's been buying Arbitrum. Lots of people think Arbitrum is undervalued. I don't think it's that undervalued because of the unlock that happened a couple of months ago. So if you're wondering, should you buy ETH right now? I think you should be buying ETH. We have this lovely X on the chart, and that X is $5,000. And we have some lines that we need to break. Most notably, our recent high here, which was just at $4,000. So we have to break 4,000. Then we have to break 4,400. Then we have to reach the goal, which is up here at about $5,000. It's not that far away. And to be honest, after that wick, a lot of people were saying, why hasn't Ethereum carried on ripping? The reason Ethereum didn't rip is it already ripped. It pre-ripped the market. It got up to $4,000, and now we have we were consolidating, and now we've broken to the downside, and we're sitting at this nice level here, which is about 34.90, about there. The bull market is at 3,200s. That's where the article is getting its retracement from. Could we come back down and bounce again? Absolutely. If there is another move to the downside, you could see this kind of movement. That would take us to 32, a bounce off 4,000, back to this volume area, 3,500, and then up towards 4,400. That is on the cards. Again, crypto has a habit of shaking out impatient people that want the pumps today and tomorrow and next week. It doesn't happen. Unfortunately, crypto is one of those industries where you have to wait a considerably long time to get wealth. That could be 2 or 3 bull runs. That is 12 years. There are people that make insane wealth in a week, but they are few and far between. So at the top, I completely agree. At the bottom end, we've got 3,200. At the top end, we've probably got 4,000 would be the next run, I think. If there's bullish news, 4,000 for me would be the run for Ethereum. And again, I've got my bags packed, as the title of the show is Pack Your Bags. My Ethereum bag is packed. My Bitcoin bag is packed. My Cardano, XRP, all of those bags are packed, and I am just waiting patiently. 12 years, stuff that too long. Well, it depends on your definition of how much you want to make. If you're looking at a 100x or 200x and do it without being in too many risky plays, then it will take you 12 years. But think about a 100x. That turns $1,000 into $100,000. That turns $10,000 into $1 million. So 12 years, if you said to somebody, in 12 years' time, your $10,000 will be $1 million, the majority of people would go along with that. The people that want it sooner need to look at the plays, especially some of the plays that you're looking at and you've sent across to me, which are, although not massively risky, a lot more risky than buying Ethereum and Cardano and XRP. So again, can XRP get to $50? Yes, but not this bull run, or maybe not even the next bull run. So to 100x on XRP, for example, is going to take 8-9 years. Solana to 100x is probably never going to happen, not in my lifetime. So that the potential for Solana is maybe to 10x. So again, all depends on what you want to get out and what your time frame is. I think 10 years to turn $10,000 into $1 million is perfectly fine. We have our $15,000 to $1 million portfolio, and that $15,000 as of today is worth about $34,000. At the end of this bull run, I would expect it to be $150,000, and then we will sell it all, and then we will wait for a retracement, and then we will buy back in, and then in the next bull run, we may be able to turn that $150,000 into $600,000, $700,000. We're doing a trial to show people it's possible. Or not possible, we might prove ourselves wrong. Now, Circle is to let Solana devs pay for users' gas fees with Gas Station. Circle's new tools simplified on-chain app development for Solana. Now, this probably won't get the headlines it deserves, because this is massively bullish news. Why is this bullish news? Because it allows you to transact without paying fees. So you look at Ethereum and why Ethereum isn't going to be used by people, because it costs a bloody fortune to send anything. Why can't you send Bitcoin directly on the Bitcoin blockchain? Because it costs $40. People who want to send $50 or $100 to their friends on Ethereum lose 40% of the transaction, lose 40% of the transaction on Bitcoin. If you can send transactions for free on Solana through these apps, you're going to do it, aren't you? So, Gas Station lets developers pay for users' gas fees. Programmable wallets make it possible for devs to build applications that have the potential to reach a wider global audience. Now, the trend on Solana right now are these things called smart wallets, which probably isn't mentioned in here. Smart wallets are super clever. And what will a smart wallet do? Well, I'm hoping it stops phishing scams. I am hoping it has some level of intelligence being built in to give you an address book, for example, so you can send your crypto to your friends, to family, to pay bills, whatever it might be. This is coming. If you combine smart wallets with gasless transactions, you are at the point where you might be able to set up your standing order to your utility companies using US dollars on Solana. So suddenly your electricity, water, gas, telephone, internet bills suddenly come out of your Phantom wallet every month without ever having to worry. Subscriptions don't exist in crypto, do they? There are no subscriptions in crypto. Why? That's the next step. How do we normalize crypto? Gasless transactions are an example where potentially these utilities companies can deposit $10,000 into Solana, and that is chipped away by all of their customers paying their bills. It's not a lot. It will be cheaper than the bank fees that they're paying. So it becomes frictionless over time. So we know about Circle. They're moving forward with US dollars and euros. Don't expect them to ignore pounds. Don't expect them to ignore rupees, whatever it might be. Cross-chain transfer protocol is, of course, Chainlink. Chainlink is involved with this. You need to hold some Chainlink. That is not financial advice. That is just common sense. Chainlink is going to be involved with this payment solution. Why is that so bullish? Because billions of transactions will go through CCTP and billions of tiny fractions will be going into the treasury of Chainlink. It will add innumerable X's to the value of Chainlink over time. So this will allow for NFTs to be sent. We know about this. We don't need to know. We don't need to read anymore. You get the idea. Gasless transactions means we can replicate what happens in real life on the blockchain, which means faster fulfillment, cheaper transactions for the utility companies, ease of use for you. It's a win for everybody. And again, we talk about, there are real crypto bears. Where is the utility in crypto? You're trying to change the entire financial system of the world. It's not going to happen in a year, my friend. It takes a long ass time to get these things working. And this is just the beginning. So when you hear people say, well, what does crypto do in real life right now? Well, we are back. Sorry about that. There was a glitch in the matrix and we froze for a second there. So quickly, just want to read out Peter. I'm 57. I can't wait. I want to make a 14x. I think 14x in this bull run is absolutely possible, especially in some of the projects that you have picked. What I would say is to remember that you are not married to any of these projects. So there may be a coin that you hold that front runs the market and does a 20x. I'd certainly look at taking profits above and beyond your price targets. And that's something we will talk about in a video at some point in the future about expectations and profit taking. The issue is that people get greedy. What I mean by that is, if Ethereum gets to $10,000, I am probably going to unload an awful lot of my Ethereum, because the money that generates for me is massive. If Bitcoin gets towards $200,000, $250,000, the same. Even though I've said I'm not going to, I may sell a portion. But everything else after that is fair game. If Cardano gets to $3 to $5, XRP gets to $5, I'm selling. And I'm honest, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm selling and I'm out. Now, if that happens in April next year, good. If it happens in November next year, good. I don't care. Have a price target in your head. You're buying all of these cryptocurrencies for what? For them to go up in value. But where's the sell price? When you go to watch a movie, do you go to watch a movie and have no idea when the movie's going to end? When you go on holiday, do you buy a one-way ticket? No, you don't buy a one-way ticket. You don't go and see a film unless you know how long it's going to be, because you might need to bring more snacks. So you go on holiday knowing that holiday is going to last 2 weeks. In crypto, nobody ever talks about when to sell. Nobody. They talk about telling you it's going to be $1 million Bitcoin and a $500,000 this and a $100,000 this. Nobody tells you when to sell. Nobody gives you that advice. And it's glaringly obvious that they don't know. If they don't know, or they don't care, or they don't want to tell you when to sell because they want to sell while you're still buying. And that is the issue. So Peter is going to sell in December, whether he makes a 5 or a 10x. I think December is a good period of time to look at selling. I think based on the experts, the same ones that don't tell you when to sell, we should be somewhere near $80,000 for Bitcoin. If that's the case, we're looking at a 20% move from where we are now. If Bitcoin is a 20% move, the alts are really lagging on Bitcoin at the minute, and the alts are hurting. A lot of alts are hurting. Mike, some people on the internet say that we are now in the peak of the bull run and they are talking to expect to fall down in the near future. Tariq, every single cycle, and this is to do with Peter as well, every single cycle, you get people telling you when we're finished, okay? And they're never right. And the reason they're never right is very simple. Bitcoin is on a 4-year cycle. Elections are on a 4-year cycle. American stock market, UK stock market, wherever, economic cycles are normally about 8 years. Now, I don't know whether Satoshi meant it, but he happens to coincide the halving with the elections in America. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, for time immemorial in Bitcoin years, we have hit the all-time high 18 months after the halving. Now, that's happened in every cycle. And that isn't one of those things where history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. It's hard-coded into crypto. Why is Peter selling in December? Well, 6 months after the halving, which is April the 20th, there is a supply shock for Bitcoin. That would take you to October the 20th. That is when the supply shock of Bitcoin kicks in. Why? Because the miners have all sold. All of the miners are now selling. Why? Because it's so expensive to mine Bitcoin, because they're getting 50% of the value. So miners are selling now. That takes 4 months to flush out of the system. What is compounding this is the ETFs. And I cannot stress enough about the supply shock we're going to see on Bitcoin. It is going to be monumental. It is going to be, I'm not going to use the word biblical because I know a lot of people aren't Catholic, but it's going to be biblical in the movie sense that we're going to see a supply shock. Now, the 18-month cycle has held every single cycle. If somebody tells you that we are finished 3 months after the halving, so we haven't even reached supply shock, then they need you need to take a step back from that advice. There is a chance we top in April next year. Yes, there is. There is a chance we top in July or September, but it's going to be towards next year, not this year. If you think that that supply shock will only hit us in end of October, that leaves November and December. Peter is selling in December. What happens in December? You have the Santa rally. The Santa rally is that stock markets, which means crypto, normally goes up by 1.5% between the start and the end of December. People are more relaxed. People are happy. You also have to remember what happens with pension funds. Pension funds have to announce, I think it's October, how well they have done for the year. And what they do in September is they sell all their dead stock that hasn't performed. They announce in October how well they're doing, and everyone goes, oh my God, they're doing incredibly well. Then in end of November and December, they buy back all that stock that they sold, which then fuels the Santa rally. So December is actually a really good month for a profit take if we're at 80,000, because there's a good chance January and February next year, we do see a correction. Maybe we fall from 80 to 60 or 80 to 55 or whatever it might be. Remember, we don't go up forever, we don't come down forever. So there's a good chance that we top at 80 in November or December. We retrace 20%, which would bring us down to $64,000. Funnily enough, not far off where we are now. Then we ramp up towards April. Then we may have another summer lull. Then we have our blow off top. Now, if you look at the supply shock that's going to happen to Bitcoin, it's going to be at least 12 months before we really see the crunch. We're going to see it in November, as I've said, because the miners will have nothing left to sell. But then we're going to have the real supply shock next year. This time, well, no, not this time next year. September, October next year, we're going to have the real supply shock. That's where the price of Bitcoin peaks. How can it peak before the supply shock? Who is telling you this advice? I'm not making this up. You go back and look at every cycle. Yes, we go up and down. Yes, we go up and down. You look at Plan B's stock to flow model, and you look at every halving and how the price of Bitcoin jumps up. It jumps up because of the supply shock. It jumps up because Bitcoin is becoming more and more scarce. And the reason this is potentially the very last great bull run is dropping from 900 a day to 450 a day is substantial. But I don't think going from 450 to 225 is as substantial in terms of a supply shock. I just don't think we're there. So this could be the last great bull run. Could Plan B be right? Could we be at $500,000 or $800,000 for Bitcoin? Yes, he could be right, because I don't have a crystal ball. But I do think 200,000, 240,000 is on the cards, and we're nowhere near that. So if you want to message me and tell me the people who are telling you the bull run is nearly over, I'll go and have a look at them. Now, there are other people who I think are far more intelligent that are telling you that we are 34% of the way through the bull run. Why are they telling you that? Because the bull run in most people's eyes started in October. If you go back and look at the Bitcoin chart, we started in October. End of October, we started to pump up. We're now in June. That's 8 months. Now add 16 months on, and where do we go to? July, August, September, October. October next year. I'm predicting November. So they're predicting we're a third of the way through. We have 2/3 of the way to go. It's obvious the cycle doesn't break, because the cycle is hard-coded into Bitcoin. That's the point. We are not going to go to $15,000 or $25,000. Look at what's going to happen. I'll reiterate this point. New government in America, which will be pro-crypto. New head of the SEC. Okay, Gary Gensler's gone in February. Interest rates coming down, which means more money coming into the economy, which means risk on assets will be more desirable. Ethereum ETF, Solana ETF, XRP ETF, and you've got some clown on the internet telling you that the bull run is finished. Send me them and we will cover it on tomorrow's show. That's my mistake, to listen to people other than you. I mean, listen, I have no hidden agenda. Funnily enough, we've got somebody who follows us called that. I've got no hidden agenda. And I'm not saying other people have, but I'm saying other people may not have really understood what we go through, because it's not about charts. It's not about resistance and support. It's about cycles, monetary cycles, and that exists outside of crypto. When you see people telling you we're going to $600 for XRP, they don't have the first clue about how that is going to happen, because that's 1,000x. So how is that going to happen? How is that going to make XRP the most valuable asset in the world? They don't know what they're talking about. And that's what really irks me. And talking about people who don't know what they're talking about, we're going to go and have a look at the fine that's been imposed on this company. US court issues final judgment against Terraform Labs. Do Kwon imposes $4.5 billion in fines. Let me ask you a question. If you got a speeding ticket, and that speeding ticket was $400,000, and you've got $50 to your name and a car worth $1,000, how do you pay it? You can't. So what's the point in fining you $400,000? You can't pay it. Even if you declare yourself bankrupt, you're not going to get the money. So, for those of you that don't know, Do Kwon and Terraform Labs, they ran Luna, they ran UST. It went perfectly well until it went into a death spiral, absolutely crippled everything. Okay, wiped 2 of the top 20 cryptocurrencies out. Do I blame Do Kwon? No, I blame him for being naive, the same way that I think Vitalik is naive. There was a bull run, not a bull run, sorry, there was a bank run on UST by several bad actors that caused it to crash. That's what happened. Now, the interesting thing on the way that it's worked in America is that they fine you. So today was the fine. Well, yesterday was the fine. But what they do is they backdate prejudgment interest. I mean, who even made that up? That's like me saying to you, by the way, you owe me $400,000, but you now owe me also $30,000 in interest because you committed that 2 years ago, so now you owe me interest. I mean, the fine was issued yesterday. The penalty was yesterday, not when it happened. So again, lots of these things are nonsense. And to be fair, to Terraform Labs, they've got nowhere near that money. They've got nowhere near. They've also fined Do Kwon $110 million. And again, they've added on 14% onto that, or 13% onto that. So he owes $125 million. Again, the one thing to bear in mind about the SEC is it is funded by these fines. So it's in their best interest to fine people the amount of money they need, not the amount of money that they should be fined. Now, the question, again, I ask is, how do they get to the point of fining somebody more than the total value of what is left? Even if you take the fine based on what the company was worth, the company never had $4.5 billion in assets at any point in its history. So it's a mockery of everybody. It's a mockery of everything. These numbers that they come out with are just... I understand they've been found guilty. That's the court. That's the law. I understand. But these fines are just ridiculous. They make no sense. So, on top of the 120 million, he's got to pay another 204 million. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So they have been banned from doing everything. Now, the issue is, of course, this is an American court. It is not a court so this has no jurisdiction outside of America. Do Kwon, as far as I remember, is from somewhere like South Korea. So if he goes back to South Korea and opens up another blockchain or starts working on the exchange, America has no jurisdiction over them. That's another thing to bear in mind. Just because somebody is found guilty of a crime in a certain country, a financial crime, not anything more serious, that only applies in America. So anyway, order permanently bans Kwon from acting as an officer or director or of any issue with the registered securities. Again, in America, make that very clear. This is all about America, nowhere else in the world. Again, do I think he was guilty? Yes, he was guilty. And did they do the right thing by finding him guilty? Yes, they did. So I don't have any issues. He is clearly guilty of negligence. They shouldn't have allowed it to happen. They did. It cost people a lot of money. Now, talking of something that's going to cost people a lot of money, I have noted a trend in exchanges listing or becoming meme coin centric in their listings, and I am not a fan of it. I know they are trying to tap into the hype and hysteria around meme coins. I get that, but meme coins are not fundamental to the progress of crypto. And what they do is they take the attention away from solid projects and projects that need attention, eyes, they need articles written about them. So when I see this, and Mother from Iggy Azalea and other coins like that, I understand that you will make quick money out of them. I'm not saying don't buy them. You will make quick money about them. But it hurts me to see solid projects not getting this kind of attention. And we cover a lot of them. We've got recommendations. I think I've got a couple as well. I've got Wing to look at. The solid projects. And yes, we cover meme coins because that's what gets us our traffic. Since we've stopped covering meme coins, our traffic is down probably 100%. So we have to do meme coins because we don't get traffic. So why do I particularly not like this one? Because it's associated with a particular figure, which is Andrew Tate. Now, a Solana token that Andrew Tate is shilling, you can tell how Ryan sees this, and I agree with him. It skyrocketed as crypto analytics firm Bubble Maps alleges insider trading activity ahead of the spike. I totally agree. My issue is that celebrity-endorsed products in any way, shape or form are based solely on the revenue that they derive from their shill. Why is somebody going to pay Jason Momoa to promote an ice cream? Because all of those young single ladies out there will go and buy that ice cream because it's got a hunky man with long hair and a beard and tats eating an ice cream. Why do people go and buy flakes? Because you have a sultry voice of somebody telling you to buy it. Why is somebody buying hair products or aftershave or perfume? They're not going to pay you $10 million to promote their perfume unless somebody goes out and buys it. That's the issue with celebrities. Don't listen to them. They're not doing it for the good of the health. I mean, there are celebrities that promote their own good causes or their own products, fine. You know that. But Andrew Tate is promoting a meme coin. You know where it's going to end up. You know the insults he's going to call you. And that's the issue. I'm saying, you know, okay, you may go out and buy this coin tomorrow and make 200% profit, but sell it. Take the money and run. The same with Mother from Iggy Azalea. The same with any meme coins. If you're up big, sell, take the profit. There are meme coins, we've covered them yesterday, obviously Bonk and Pepe and Shib, maybe Bohm, maybe some of those ones, Myro as well. Maybe they'll be here for the bull run. These are, transient. They come and go. You take the money and run. So Andrew Tate has started a meme coin spending spree late last week, shilling a number of tokens in the process. The latest token he's endorsed has a $275 million market cap. Now, again, the issue I've got is there are solid meme coins out there. We're going to do a Chronos night on our channel. And on that Chronos night, we're going to talk about meme coins on the Chronos chain. And they are big communities, good people. They have fun. There is Core, there is Troll, there is Push the Button. All of these projects have got solid communities about them. And then this gentleman comes along and shills his project and goes to 275 million based on what? Based on hype. This is all Emperor's New Clothes, and it's all going to come crashing down around everybody's ears, and people will complain that they've been caught. So it's up 450%. It's at 28 cents. Now, I did try and find the chart for this project to try and tell you what the price was. Let me see if I can find it for 1 second. Again, you might make an awful lot of money out of it, and fair play to you if you do. I'm never going to tell you not to buy something. I'm going to have my own opinion on whether you should buy it or not. So 28 cents in the article. What are we at now? 29 cents. I'm going to have to go to a really low time scale to see this. So again, you know, we have, oops, let me drag that along a bit. I mean, doing TA, I read a funny meme about Pamper on X was talking about watching people doing TA on meme coins, and I have to agree, but to be honest, it's a $275 million project. It's not a $50,000 project. So there is a line that this seems to be following. I'm sure it's probably going to go somewhere near $1. You never know, it might go to $1 billion, but again, I'm not going to buy any. I'm not going to go anywhere near this. Let's go. Bubble Maps, we found huge insider activity on Daddy. They bought 30% of the supply at launch before he promoted it, so he is clearly involved with this. 20% of the total supply was snatched up by 11 whales. We don't want to mention those. These wallets hold 19% of the supply. Now, if you watched my video about rug pulls, in it tells you to look at the breakdown of the distribution of the tokens amongst wallets. Any token that has a maximum wallet holder of 2 or 3% is perfectly fine. When you start to see wallets holding 19% of the circulating supply, that's when I worry, because they can start to dump the tokens, take the profit, and then run. And I think it's a cash grab, and it could very well be a scam, and I'm worried about it. And what I'm worried about is that some exchanges will come along and say, you know what, we're going to list this because it's a $275 million market cap. And I am very, very worried that some of you are going to get caught in this. People don't like fundamentals of projects. I think that's the issue. People don't want to look at the fundamentals of projects. You know, somebody could have a project which builds schools around the world and then rent those schools to governments and earn 8-10% a year in interest. Tokenize that project, put it up on the internet, and it would have a lower market cap than Daddy. That's my issue. And it's all to do with the fact that it's provided by Andrew Tate. We're not going to read out what he's got to say. It all comes amid we don't want to talk about the trial either. Anyway, the point of the matter is, if you want to get in, If you want to take your profit out of that coin, fine, go and do it. But just bear in mind, these tokens are going to end up languishing, and they're going to end up costing you your hard-earned gains, because you might hold on too long. Take your profits. If you make 200 or 300%, good for you. I'm happy for you, but don't hold it forever and a day. And look at that. That is the timing, the absolute timing and professionalism on this channel. I really do not know how we do it. Right then, we did ask a question today. The FOMC is over. The rates are the same. Are you now bullish or bearish? We have had the vote. 57% of you are bullish, 43% of you are bearish. So the majority of you are bullish moving forward. I think that's a good position to be in. I think that's a fair divide, 57-43. I'd say I'm about the same. I am bullish that we're not going to crash below 62,000. I am bearish that we are going to struggle to get above 70,000 without a catalyst. And there are more positive catalysts on the horizon than bearish catalysts. So the further we go into the two elections in the UK and America, the further we are into seeing the outcome, and that's the more certainty it gives to the markets about what's going to happen. Because I think the UK is the 6th largest economy. America's is it first now above China? So 2 of the top 10 economies in the world are having their elections. That's a change of government potentially, and that can cause uncertainty. But the closer we get to those elections, the more we will get the certainty of who is going to win. And I think we know about America, and I think we kind of have a rough idea about the UK. So all in all, I am fairly bullish. So that is the end of the show. Brogan, I think, is back in about 4 or 5 hours time. He's going to do a special, so make sure to hang around for that. I know some of you live in different time zones and you won't be able to make that, which is fine. If you can, go and show him some support. I know a few people in there are looking at how to learn how to use. We have our own trading indicator, which is called Simple Significance. Brogan will be making videos on how to use Simple Significance, as well as TradingView, as well as some other indicators. He's going to make some videos on that. So he will be doing that over the course of the next few weeks, hopefully. On Sportsbet, Trump is at 1.65. That's a great bet. It absolutely is. Good morning, Solo Sky. Welcome back to the stream. Remember, if you're new here, smash the like button. Follow us, subscribe, whatever you can do. We stream Monday to Saturday at 11 o'clock. We do normally 2 or 3 trading shows a week. And we've done Monday, Wednesday. I think we're doing one today. So take care, everybody. Make sure to check them out. Follow and subscribe. We want to get to 200,000 people by the end of the year. We're 2/3 of the way there with 6 months to go. And I think if we stick to the target of doing 10,000 followers a month, we will just about get there. So take care, everybody. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you to Tariq and Chris, Bullish Bull, Solo Sky, Peter, Fran, Drop Dead, everybody that's in chat. Until tomorrow, have a great afternoon. Take care.